Hello guys, good morning. So I've just woke up not too long ago. What time is it? It's almost 6 a.m. I've been wanting to wake up early for the past few weeks now, to go for a jog, but every single day I just snooze my alarm. Today I just thought I'm gonna move my phone so when the alarm goes off I don't click snooze. I'm gonna move it away from me so that I actually have to stand up to click snooze. And when I already stood up, I just thought I might as well just do it while I'm being lazy. So it actually worked. So I'm gonna go for a jog later on. And today I'm just gonna give you lot a bit of an idea of how life is as a doctor. So you'll be following me around today, and more specifically how life is as a doctor during COVID-19. To be fair, at the moment it's quite late into COVID-19, so it might not give you an actual true representative of how things have been like. Dishes as well before I go for the jog. Alright, so I'm going to be getting off on my jog just now, so I'll catch you lot when I'm back. Alright guys, so I finished the run now. I'm just going to be heading to get some breakfast. I actually did around 4k, which I didn't expect. This was the first time around here, so I was just experimenting with the route. Had a shower, brushed my teeth and stuff, so I'm just gonna get some breakfast. Morning. Just a quick catch up. So it's 2 o'clock now, and basically I came in this morning, started on the ward round. I got pulled to go into theatre, and we've done 2 cases. One of them being a laparoscopic fundoplication, Nissen's laparoscopic fundoplication, which I've never seen before, so that was interesting to see. And the consultant in question that I was scrubbed in with was asking me a lot of random anatomy questions that I've not visited since like first year, but got some of it right. But yeah, it's funny how you remember stuff from like years ago. Anyhow, just had lunch, so I thought I'll catch you guys up because I've not really been on this much. Plus I still find it weird to record myself. It's really awkward. Plus I still can't do it in front of people. I think everyone's just gonna think I'm a weirdo. However, step by step thing. So for the rest of the day, I'm just gonna see what the job list is saying, crack on with some jobs. And yeah, I'll catch you lot later. I'll give you a lot a bit of a breakdown as to how my day's been going. There we go. Jeez.
Go for some cricket, bruh.
Yeah. So quickly, yeah, this is weird. This isn't gonna work. Imagine having to do this. Imagine having to do this every day.
Yeah, no. You definitely need like a professional cameraman.
Even that would be what. So yeah, we're heading over to. Do you know what the park's called?
Yeah. Oh, I think I know. I don't know their name, but like I saw a park when I walked past the petrol station.
Oh, did you? We're heading there anyway to play some cricket, which is the national sport at this hospital.
Originated from India, though.
Yeah, is it?
That's when British people colonized Indians. They taught British people how to play cricket.
I didn't know. Interesting fact.
Actually, or is it at the other side? The other way around?
I don't
I
have
think
to.
the other way around. Yeah, I think British colonized India and they taught
them how to
Indians
play
how to play cricket. And now India is better than them.
Is this the new bike?
That's I thought that was an 800 quid bike.
I was gonna say. Just got back recently. Just making some dinner to eat now. Starving. Then I'll catch you lot up on basically the activity for today and like what went on. Here's a look at my dinner. Stay in that oven. Just prepping my lunch for tomorrow at the moment, and I'm gonna have a sandwich, sweet corn and tuna with some vegetables. But that's a good thing about living here as well, is that the hospital is just literally there. So if you forget your lunch, if you have like a few hours when you're free, you can literally come back home because it's actually technically on site. Yeah. But unfortunately, I'm going to be moving out of here actually. I've been doing some house viewings and it's just a bit expensive I think for what you get and for the area. So I'm going to be moving out to somewhere cheaper. Cut my coat according to my size and all that. So let's talk a bit more about my week so far. So it's been very interesting starting work as a doctor, especially during this period of time, because for a lot of different things you keep thinking to yourself, is this how it's normally done? Or is it just being done like this because of COVID? But it's been good. I feel like my team have been really supportive. Everyone here is so friendly. Supportive staff, and I feel like I'm learning a lot. Like it's been a few weeks and bang, I've learned so much already. I'll tell you about a little story. I was bleeped by this nurse on a ward because currently this was only a temporary thing. The surgical teams are all together, so orthopedics, general surgery, ENT, urology, and we were all like kind of cross-covering and helping each other out with the patients. We're not really in teams. So I was called over to see this orthopedic patient who hadn't had surgery, who had broken his hip, quite an old gentleman, and on visiting him. So no, the reason why the nurse called, she couldn't really tell me. Is he scoring? No, his new score was perfectly normal. For those who don't know what new score is, I'll link it down below. I should actually explain it, but it's just you have a scoring system based on your observations to see if we can use it as an indicator of whether you get on well. But you will learn an important lesson from this. So his news are normal. History, she couldn't really tell me about the patient, couldn't give me a history. And luckily, like, would you go to that review? Would you go and review that patient? The nurse told me that basically he was admitted yesterday, and apparently he fell over in the garden and he broke his hip, but not his femur, his acetabulum, and it was being managed conservatively. And just from looking at him, she just doesn't feel right about him, because she can't imagine him being in the garden walking based on how he's behaving and stuff. I was like, okay. So I obviously had a quick glance at the patient at the end of the bed. They were pretty much stable acutely. So I went and read up a bit more about them in terms of their history, what's been done so far, looked at any bloods that were available. And everything was pretty much normal. He'd been here for the reasons I said, fell over in the garden. And then I went to this gentleman to speak to him. And I was like, how are you doing, sir? Hope everything's okay. And he was basically speaking gibberish. It wasn't really making sense. So I was very confused as a new F1, 3 days into the job. I was like, do you understand what I'm saying? And his response was pretty much like literally like nothing that made sense. So I said, do you have any pain anywhere? Nothing. I tried my best to communicate with him anyway. Nothing. So I quickly did a general exam, head to toe, full exam, pupils, eyes, ears, everything, listened to his lungs, calves, did a full systemic general exam. And it was a bit hard to assess him properly. So these are the difficulties of actually working, and the theories of a book is that you can just listen to his lung, and if you hear anything you can know. But in reality, a patient's got a fractured hip, you're trying to touch him, and every time you touch him he's in really severe pain, this, that, like, it makes the assessment more difficult. So I arranged for him to get some painkillers, and then my suspicion from there, what do you think it is? Comment below what you would have thought based on the part that we've spoken about. What, delirium, because obviously hip fracture, gibberish, background of dementia. Okay, so I thought it was delirium, and therefore I wanted to get some bloods from him and do a delirium screen. I was considering doing a CT, but I didn't really have any real justification for it, considering I'm thinking delirium. But then again, if he might have hit his head when he fell, if he's delirious, no one would really know, and there was no one to talk to. So that's luckily the CT came at that point. I spoke to him about it, and he recommended doing this CT head. And I also documented to get in contact with his family to get an idea of a baseline. To summarize that story, his chest X-ray actually I started him on treatment as well, by the way. Antibiotics, fluids, took blood cultures, did a little mini full sepsis 6. And his chest X-ray actually came back later on that day showing pneumonia, or an infection in his chest. And this is another thing. Patients nowadays who come in with like any chest infections are also query COVID until excluded. So I had to do a COVID talk on him and all of that. And yeah, and it turns out that it was a chest infection. It was delirium, because after starting treatment, I came back to this same gentleman the next day. It just made me feel so weird. I don't know why. Like I think I've seen things like this anyway from medical school, but when you're actually doing it yourself, it just makes you think, wow, medicine's real. Like the next day, he was already improving. He wasn't the same guy I saw yesterday. He looked better. He looked like he could communicate. I was like, wow. I was just so like in awe. And I've had many more experiences like this since I've been here. So I'm actually really enjoying working as a doctor at the moment.